Good morning everyone. This is Kaylin Kamikawa. If you subscribed to YouTube Premium last time, we have announced that various privilege services are available. I tried using it but I was particularly wondering about it. Also, if you use a VPN, you should call it YouTube Heaven. I found out that there is another privilege, so I will inform you this time. The first question is when subscribing to YouTube Premium 1,550 yen if you apply from the YouTube app, 1,180 yen if you apply from the web browser. The point is that there is a difference. There seems to be a reason for this when I look it up. Apparently, if you register from the iOS version of the app, since the payment is made via the App Store, 30%, the fee seems to be increased by 30%. So, if you are an iPhone or iPad user and register from a web browser, it is said that it will be a normal charge, but I was a little surprised at this. Normally, if you pay via the App Store, added to the phone bill, it will be easier for people without a credit card and students to pay, so you can expect that the number of subscribers will increase, right? If so, YouTube also has the advantage of increasing overall profits. I think it is natural for YouTube to bear the extra charge, but is it different? It is a selfish price setting to make the user bear the entire amount. Isn't it a conscientious idea to pay at least half and half? Then, the user is only expensive, and the convenience remains inconvenient, isn't it? Isn't there any benefit to the user? Then, no matter how much, the number of subscribers will not increase, right? I can't close my open mouth. If you forget the business principle of low profit and high sales, and pursue only your own profit, then, the user will be contracted in YouTube Heaven country. The second is the problem, the benefits, or the use of VPN. Through the YouTube Heaven country, we found another advantage. That's because I noticed after using it, YouTube Premium is called YouTube Originals. You can watch YouTube-specific programs and video distribution channels such as movies. It says that. So, I was excited to see which one. This is all about K-pop's upbringing and crappy videos. It doesn't even have Japanese subtitles. What's the benefit of this? There was only one at that level. It was about, well, don't put any effort into it, by the way. When it comes to movies, there was a service called YouTube Movie, right? What happened to that? Are there any benefits from YouTube Premium? When I looked it up, in the case of YouTube, for example, if you search for movies or adult videos for adults, you can watch many videos for free, including illegal and legal ones. If you look at it, isn't it okay? For the time being, let's leave the case of the free site called Actually. Even on YouTube we provide a legal, of course, service for watching movies online. Well, this industry has Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. So the competition is quite fierce. You can easily rent movies from all over the world, which is unique to YouTube. However, there is a charge for each one, and you can rent it by paying with a credit card. One is about 300 yen, but for example, use a YouTube movie when you want to watch a new movie today. I think it's one way. But again, is it related to payments via the App Store? In Japan, the YouTube app, YouTube movie site, I couldn't fly to http://www.youtube.com/movies. It stays white and doesn't move on. However, enter movie in the search field of the YouTube app to search. Furthermore, if you select movie in the filter function, a YouTube movie will appear. Opening parenthesis dot. This filter function, as I explained before, is very effective in many ways. However, you can only see the preview version for 1 to 2 minutes. It is not possible to reach the rental screen. However, if you look at that channel, it is a channel called YouTube Movie. So, when I click on that channel, it turns white again and nothing comes out. It is crafted so that you cannot go to YouTube Movie anyway. However, if you look at this URL on his PC version of Safari, or if you turn Safari into a PC version site and click Movies and Programs from the menu, what a rental screen will come out. Furthermore, if you want to search for a specific movie that is not on this menu screen, after making Safari a PC version site and entering keywords in the search field, if you specify movie in filter, you can use the latest movies, adults, sports, etc. A screen will appear where you can rent various videos. At this point, you know, right? YouTube apps probably don't want to pay via the App Store. I think it's being crafted so that you can't access the YouTube movie site. And, as I learned this time, it seems that only Japan has such a special work. If you change the VPN to Korea, the YouTube movie site will be displayed easily. When other countries access YouTube movie sites through VPN, you can easily view the YouTube movie site from the YouTube app. I found that I could rent it. In other words, there is no such regulation except in Japan. Isn't this unfair only to the Japanese? And from here, today's main subject, please see the rental fee. For example, if you try connecting to a VPN in India, you can rent a movie for about 29 Indian rupees, 42 yen and 70 sen. In other words, it can be rented for about 1/10 of Japan. However, subtitles are in English only. It's extremely strange why such regulations are imposed only on Japan. And why is there such a difference? This makes you want to rent it in India. So this time, about using YouTube movies, in the case of iPhone, I found that I can only see it on Safari's PC version site. And with a VPN, I also found that movies around the world can be watched at a bargain price. Isn't it too unfair to Japan? Would you please deregulate it? However, if you search the internet in this world, you will find how to watch movies for free. There is a flood of information on the internet, and it is certain that the world is quite dangerous. Well, I'm not going to watch a movie that much, but it was said that Japan is full of unfair regulations on YouTube in Japan. Looking at this kind of thing, it is also possible to delete comments unilaterally, arbitrarily, unfairly. Isn't it about the Japanese office of YouTube? Excluding China, I feel that the world's internet situation has become a little more visible through VPN. That's all.